Hey everyone, so I've not really been following the news and coverage about the Senate committee hearing and Dr. Blasey Ford for a lot of reasons. But I was just listening to NPR and basically first heard the details about what happened to her when she was a teenager for the first time today. And there's something I need to get off my chest. I've told this to few people that I'm close to, but I haven't told the wider world, acquaintances, a lot of my friends. So I don't know where to start or how to say this. Because I know this is going to be public. But, okay, so, let me get this closer. So, I have been diagnosed with PTSD for a number of reasons, but it's complex trauma, it's not just one incident. And hearing what happened to Dr. Blasey Ford when she was a teenager brought me back to when I was 6 years old. When I was 6 years old, and not just once, several times, I was molested and raped and groped by my cousin and our neighbor. I would not normally want to say anyone's name specifically because it has been so long, but because my cousin is still a piece of crap, he's not a good person, and I have cut him out of my life completely, I feel comfortable saying this. My cousin is Dustin Thompson, and he has done more than just rape me, and molest me. But I don't know how to, I don't know how to really talk about this. I've never really been able to process it. It's kind of just been in the back of my mind since I was 6. I'm now 32. It's one of the many reasons why I have PTSD. I also experienced extensive child abuse when I was growing up for all of my childhood and well into my adult years. And when I was 17, I was also raped by 4 people. I had been drinking, underage. Someone that was of age had given me alcohol. I had been drinking and I just blacked out. Came to at one point with half of my ass hanging out of the back of a car, like out of the seat with my feet on the ground, and I was naked from my waist down, and I was surrounded by 4 guys, like they were standing all around me, looking like they were ready to do something to me, and I was naked from the waist down, hanging out of the back of the car. I was told that I was dropped off in the driveway of my friend's house, which was gravel, so I was naked from the waist down, laying in gravel. I don't know where my pants went. I was crying for my friend to come and be with me because I was scared, and I just kept crying for her. And eventually she came over and stayed that night. I woke up in the morning with someone else's pants on. They weren't my pants. I didn't know where my pants were. Later, I found out that one of the people that had molested me or raped me had taken my pants and washed them. I don't know if that was to get rid of evidence or what, but yeah. So I woke up in pants that were too large for me, and my pants had been washed. I was 17, by the way, and I think all of the people that were involved were adults. I didn't really put things together about that incident until maybe a year later, when I had heard that these guys had been bragging about what they had done to me to their friends. And then I wondered how my friends could have allowed that to happen, how they could have allowed these 4 guys to take their friend away into the middle of the country to an abandoned barn, park next to it, and then molest and rape their friend. Like, how could they have been okay with someone taking me? Even if it was one person that they knew, why was it okay? Like, I'm sorry. I'm not blaming my friends, but there are so many things that could have gone differently, you know? I haven't really been close with those friends since then because I just lost so much trust in those people, as well as people in general, because 2 of the people that did this to me were my friends. I don't want to name them because I don't know if I actually want to legally pursue this, but if I do, I will go that way when if I ever decide to go that way. That's in the future. It's not right now. I just want to get my story out, my experience, what I've been through, so that other people can know that you're not alone. Again, between when I was 6, when I was 17, and onward, and even before I was 6, I was experiencing child abuse at home. Directly from my mom. She has passed away now, but she was my main abuser. I've always had a hard time because my first memory is of abuse. I've always had a hard time trusting people. And that's gone back and forth from putting too much trust in people because I wasn't sure what level of trust to give people, so I would just give them all my trust and then I would get hurt. It has gone from that to not trusting people at all, being afraid to leave the house, being afraid to hang out with friends, being afraid to go to work, being afraid to go to school, getting anxious, having flashbacks, having panic attacks, even being scared at times to check my email or go on social media or anything. all of this has affected me so much that, of course, I've been diagnosed with PTSD, but I feel like I can't socially function. I wish that none of this would have happened to me or happened to anyone. Like, no one deserves to have that happen to them. I was also in an abusive relationship with an ex of mine. He has also passed away. He passed away from alcoholism. And as you can imagine, there were a lot of issues that were going on when I was with him, but it ended up in us getting into fights every night for over a year, about a year and a half. He tried to kill me several times. And the one time when I decided I'm going to fight back and I'm going to mean it and I'm going to make sure I don't die tonight, the police were called, a neighbor called, and I didn't know how to talk about abuse at that time. I still don't really, but I'm much older. I've thought about it a lot. Wrote about it a bit, shared my story with some of my friends, and so I can talk about it a little bit more now. But then I didn't know how to talk about it. I wasn't even comfortable really naming it as abuse. I just thought he was an asshole, but he would beat me, he would choke me, he would try to kill me, he would threaten me. I was terrified of him. And whenever I left, he would come and find me and then try to kill me in public. So it was just hard being with him and trying to get away from him. But that night when the police were called, I didn't know how to talk about abuse at that time. And so I was the one that was arrested for assault. They said that it was because he was the only one with visible marks on him. But when I looked in the mirror later that night, I could see scratches all over my face. So, I don't know. But the one time that I went to defend myself, I was put in jail. And I was charged. And I was ordered to go get anger management classes. The problem with that is that I wasn't angry. I wasn't the one that was angry. I was terrified. And I reacted out of fear and self-defense. So I went to the classes because they were required, and then that was expunged from my record. So that's not on my record. But this is just like a brief overview. There have been a lot of things that have happened in my life like this. But this is just a brief overview. I just hope that this helps anyone. Hearing that on NPR just now made me break down in the middle of working. I would say that I can't believe that this happens to so many people, but I do believe it. And just know that if this has happened to you, I believe you. Please share your story, even if it's only with one person. Please share your story. If you're comfortable, please share your story in the comments, or message me, or DM me, or email me, and I'll be there for you. I'll listen. I can be a shoulder to cry on. We'll talk to each other. We'll cry to each other. just know that you're not alone. And I'm saying that a lot because I need to be reminded that I'm not alone. This is my first public video or account of some of the things that have happened to me that have resulted in me being a very anxious and scared person. Anyway, thanks for watching. Sorry for all the crying, but again, I haven't talked about this publicly before. Anyway, yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.